and welcome back to Who Would Win. And today's Who Would Win comes to us from Dylan, and I'm going to see if I get this name right. Dylan Hurinowisk? Hurinowisk. I hope I got that right. Hurinowisk, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Deathstroke versus Jason Voorhees. Now, with Deathstroke, yeah, there's a couple interpretations, but the general principle of the character is the same. With Jason, there's like more key versions of Jason you gotta focus on. Now with Deathstroke, he is the Terminator. He's a master assassin, one of the deadliest mercenaries in the world, a super soldier, enhanced to basically the physical peak of perfection. Has a massive regeneration factor, a healing factor that is quite impressive. Master in pretty much all forms of combat, swords, guns, you name it. Usually carries a certain amount of actual weaponry on him, be it katanas, his Prometheus sword, actual firearms, including pistols, sniper rifle, things along those lines. His armor also has regenerative capabilities. He is capable of using about 90-something% of his brain, which allows him to perceive things faster. Master in hand-to-hand combat, and all-around badass. But he's not invincible. He's been beaten before. Jason. Now with Jason, we have to go basically piece by piece with Jason. Because there's basically 4 different versions of Jason. There's the human Jason you get pretty much in the original series leading up until he gets resurrected, but that's not the Jason I mean when I say human. I mean the reboot Jason we got with the 2009 film. That's the only Jason that's actually a fast mover. He's pretty burly. He's physically very strong. He actually moves fast. He actually can strike fast as well. So just, those slow moves and then just a quick slash. No, he's actually quite speedy. But he's also not bright. He's smarter than you might think, but he's not like a genius or anything like that, or a tactician. He also just has his machete, as well as a couple of tools here or there to fight with. The normal original series Jason is and I'm not, when I say use zombie Jason, I'm gonna pretty much stick with like the Freddy versus Jason Jason, because wordplay, words on words. Because that is technically better interpretation of the zombie Jason than the zombie Jason we actually had, because they reveal in the series that he had a demon latched onto his soul. So you need the blood of someone with the blood of a Voorhees and a special blade can kill him for good. Otherwise, he'll just keep coming back, possessing souls, things along those lines. Even if you were to blow him up, the evil of Jason will drive you to basically like consume his heart or something like that, like they did, and basically become possessed by Jason. And it's a matter of, would you have the will to resist that? Would you care about that? So forth and so on. So you have that Jason. Then you have zombie Jason, who I'm referring to as the Freddy versus Jason. That Jason definitely does have super strength. All these Jasons here now have super strength and regenerative capability to some degree. He got both his eyes stabbed out, but one of them grew back pretty quickly. He had his fingers cut off; those don't grow back. But Freddy basically says that you cannot die, you can never die. And he couldn't kill Jason. Jason can get his shit wrecked though in that quite a bit, but he's very stealthy, not fast or anything like that, because he's just, I don't know if he likes to stalk his prey. He's actually not very fast when it comes to moving, in terms of like running or whatnot. This is also the only and it's contradiction. I had people get on my case for this a lot when I brought it up in the Pennywise versus Jason video, but I'm going to bring it up again. This is the only version of Jason that has legitimate fear, not including his mom. And that's not a fear, that's just things you can do to manipulate him. He has a fear of water on some level. Clearly, he got around it to some degree, but if you can use it in some psychological way, that could be effective. But frankly, that's not going to play a factor in this fight, but it's still something to bring up. Last but not least, we have Uber Jason, or Jason in space. Still slow as hell, still physically strong as hell. But then he got all the cybernetics implanted to him, and it's not really known how strong he really got. He was able to basically just whoop the ass of an android that whooped his ass previously. It's implied he might have survived re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, but we don't know for certain if he did or not. So Uber Jason, he's durable enough to just tank gunfire without issue. So his durability factor is through the roof. His strength is enhanced. He still has regenerative capabilities too. So Uber Jason is actually quite the powerhouse. Now, when you break down this fight, let's go basically weakest to strongest version of Jason here. Human Jason versus Deathstroke. Deathstroke is going to kick his ass. Even Deathstroke is tasked to hunt down Jason, let's say. And he hunts him down. And look, it's Jason. This is the fast version of Jason, but he's no super soldier. He's not a trained assassin. He's just got a machete. And even if he hit Deathstroke and actually hurt Deathstroke has the ability to regenerate. So ultimately, no, he's just going to shoot him. And I'm sure that version of Jason can survive some gunfire. But he's just going to shoot him point blank, stab him, cut off his head, all that. Jason loses that fight, hands down 100% of the time. Go to the demon-possessed Jason. He's slower, but he will always seem to come back in some way. Deathstroke would be in the initial fight. The question is whether he'd be tempted or not to... whether or not he would be tempted to eat his heart or something like that, be possessed by him. I don't think he will. His willpower is too strong to really, I think, be challenged by something like that. So in that sense, it would take time for Jason to reform because Deathstroke's not a Voorhees, but Jason he would eventually reform. But Deathstroke wins that confrontation, hands down. Versus Zombie Jason. Now, that Jason is going to be a lot more durable and can take a lot more punishment than the other two. But ultimately, yeah, it's still going to be Deathstroke who takes him out. Now, gunfire I don't think is going to do much against Zombie Jason. Might slow him down, but even headshots, unless he's going to blow his head clean off, aren't going to do much. So ultimately, Zombie Jason would be able to last a bit longer, but he probably wouldn't even be able to get a solid hit in on Deathstroke. And even if he did, he's probably a little stronger than Deathstroke, and I'm speculating a bit. Probably not, I'm going to guess, but he might be a little bit. If not, he's a little under Deathstroke. Because Deathstroke, I know, can lift at least a ton. And I don't know if Jason can, at least Freddy versus Jason. So ultimately, that fight's not going to go anywhere. The real contender fight, the real chance Jason has in any form, is the Uber Jason. Because that Jason clearly has durability to tank gunfire, which Deathstroke has. He probably would not be able to be cut by a sword, at least not in any of his metallic parts. So that fight's going to play out differently, at least in the sense that Jason can actually stand up to Deathstroke to some degree. So that fight takes place. And let's say New Earth, that's Justice League exists or something like that, and he goes down, he survived, hypothetically speaking, and they go at each other. Now, Deathstroke's probably going to start firing off some rounds and becoming a sword hit Jason. Nothing's going to really phase him at all. Jason's going to try to get through, cut him, but Deathstroke's going to be the better tactician and fighter overall. So he's going to avoid the shots, try to maybe throw a punch in. It's going to be like, he's like, and then Jason maybe he's going to get a lucky just boom and just throw him back. That's just like a son of a bitch. And then he basically just starts tapping, basically avoiding Jason. Jason's kind of just, I'm going to kill you. But he realizes that Deathstroke it's too late, and Deathstroke planted explosives, blows him up. He's still relatively there, but now the parts of him that aren't metallic, they're burnt up. There's chunks missing. Granted, he can regenerate from that if he has to. But Deathstroke's now capitalizing on this by going for the parts that are now exposed. Just firing gunshots in there with some long-range sniper rifles, hitting the soft spots, making bigger holes. Jason's still coming out. Then he takes a sword, takes off his, cuts out chunks of him from his organic part. Jason's now just kind of clobbing around there, just. He still got his metal leg because that got shot. He still got his metal arm, which got shot off because that got shot off. But the other parts, the organic parts, are kind of now missing a little bit. So now he's trying to crawl. He's basically trying to crawl towards him, and Deathstroke just kind of steps on his hand. And Deathstroke, I think, has enough strength to keep him down in that sense. Basically disarms him and just starts unloading everything he has into the back of this guy's head, which I don't believe. Well, no, his head probably got reformed, but he's just unloading everything he has into the back of this guy's head, basically. And eventually, I think that Deathstroke does win, but the durability factor Jason has cannot be underemphasized. That he'd be able to last quite a while. Problem is, Deathstroke also has a regenerative capability, so any damage Jason gets on him probably wouldn't matter a huge deal in the long term. Ultimately, though, Deathstroke beats Jason in the fight. Overall, he beats every one of the Jasons in the fight. Now, is there a scenario where at least Uber Jason wins? I suppose if Deathstroke dropped his guard a little too much, he could grab... Jason could grab him and then just take his head off. That's a very slim margin of chance. Like, I wouldn't even go 5% on that chance. I'd go like a 2% on that shot. So, but that's my opinion on that. What do you think? Do you think Jason could beat him all the time? Do you think Jason beats him absolutely none of the time? I think it's closer than I made on any of them. Put in the comments below. Let me know. Thanks, though, for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. What if will be next. It's the week of What If still. Comic-Con still going on. I haven't had any new trailers pop up today for Comic-Con, but I'll still talk about them when it shows up. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you